Hello, this is Bart Sharp, author of Magic Speaks, with the topic of separation. When we are separate from others, or feel separate, that we have something of a distance or a wall or a barrier between us and others, we're actually separate from ourselves as well. Whatever we push out or mirror out is also happening inside of us. And what we really lose in that is oneness. In other words, a concept that we are all one together. And in oneness, when we feel like we're together in a communion with other people, but also with the planet, with nature, with all the other things out there, which is countless, something inside of us becomes bigger. We have this autonomy that is oneness, and separation does not exist. It's all in this big space inside of us. And so, when we are in this state, magical things do happen in our lives more often. It's just more likely because the bigger we are inside of us, at a flow of life, then we are integrated with everything else, and it seems like the universe or a greater consciousness, a higher power, seems to come and help us. It seems to be there with us. And we have all of these great stories of how that is, of people that have believed so strongly in something that they surrender their ego, and their belief is something bigger and grander than themselves brings their dreams together. And I keep thinking of Moses, of all of these phenomenal things that happened with him, and it was all in faith of these of what was needed at the time. Now, oneness is also something we all have known before, and it really begins in childhood. In other words, when we're children, there's no separation inside of us. We feel like we're together, we're in communion and oneness with our parents and within ourselves. This great light inside of ourselves is just bursting out. It's great, it's grand. And if you really look into a child, you can feel that, and they want to share that, of this joy coming outside of them to connect with others. And they really want that communion with everything around them, to where it's all much bigger in this communion. And they feel this hugeness of it. And as parents, it's best to support a child when they're in these states, because it basically affirms that their love, their joy, their oneness is valid. And when we grow up in a world that we know somewhere in we are valid in our oneness, we create a lot of great things. Whether it's believing we can do something, or we have a belief and it just seems like the flow of life supports us. Or maybe both of them together. That's a very powerful combination. They all begin in oneness and in this feeling that we're not separate. And what separates us from being ourselves is our judgments. It's kind of like those things that, well, I don't think that I'm worthy of having this greatness, or this dream happen, or a college education, or that great partner. Or, on the other side, other people are wrong because they have it, a jealousy, or an anger, even an aggression. Like, I'm so mad at them and I will hurt them because of my anger and my fear. It usually comes down to those types of beliefs, our judgments. All of how we judge pushes people away, creates a wall, thus separation. So we have to start breaking those things down and living in this question of possibility that, what would it take for me to be at a great place like Rennes-le-Château in southern France? So one of my dreams is to come here, and now I come every year for the last 5 years, because I started asking the questions and was open to the possibility of it happening. And it was amazing how things came into my life to support me so I could come here every year. I do a tour business, and I have a great time doing it, and I help other people in becoming more conscious. Just like my book, Magic Speaks, is teaching people to how to have oneness, how to not live in separation, and to have a greater life where they can be magic, and have that as a way of life. What fun possibilities we could all live in and have a better planet if we all believed we deserve such greatness. All we want to do is share it, live it, and let everybody win in such a paradigm. So this is Bart Sharp, author of Magic Speaks. Get magical in your life.